And I had an especially rough time in Algebra 2 Trig because of just how the class was taught. Like, there are two teachers that teach it, and both of them are just not good.
Like, homework didn't count for a grade back then.
Oh, that was crazy too.
Yeah, so I didn't do any of the homework, so I was still getting an A in the class though because it was super easy. Like I got an A, like almost perfect scores on every single test, and so one day, like I thought she liked me just because I was doing well in the class, but one day she just like called me up to her desk and she was like, "Alex, why haven't you been doing any of your work?" And I was like, "Because it doesn't count." And she was like, I think that's really disrespectful, and you owe me respect, basically. I mean, she didn't exactly phrase it like that, but that was basically the gist of it. And so I was like, I don't really care if you feel respected or not. And so she emailed my dad, and she was like, your son is not doing well in the class, or whatever. And so my dad emailed her back, and he was like, concerned because he thought I was like failing math.
Right.
So he was like, "Is what is he having trouble with? Like, because I'm good at math, so I can help him out. Maybe I can get him back on track." And she was like, "Oh, he's getting an A in the class, but he's not doing the homework." And then he was like, "Stop emailing me."
Oh, what a guy!
It was great.
See, I had like the opposite experience. Like I kept doing the homework, but like it's like this is not clicking for me. I'm not like how she taught it like didn't like click in my head, and so like I go to her for help, and like she can provide absolutely none.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, I'm stuck, and so I actually had to go to Hampton a few times,
Nice.
and I did something so stupid.
What'd you do?
So something I did in geometry really bit me in that class. Geometry was so easy that I stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, and I got an A. Like, I told you about the story where I just taught Jackson to snap for an hour.
No, you didn't.
So we had so little to do in that class. Jackson was the best. I was probably second best. Like, I just took an hour to teach him how to snap. Because, like, before class started, I, like, snapped. And he's like, oh, I can't snap. I'm like, you can't snap. I'm like, hold on a second. Like, you snap like this. And I'm just demonstrating for an hour. And the teacher's like, this is the teacher who, like, talks about Star Wars too much.
Yeah.
By the way. She's actually really nice. She was only a few years older than us, so she probably did not demand enough attention.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm teaching Jackson how to snap," and she's like, "What, did you work ahead and finish?" And we're like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Okay." So she's allowing this. We're just doing this for an entire hour. So what that teaches me is like in the last half of that class, I did not pay attention to my like sine, cosine, tangent, unit circles, special triangles. It's like I got the gist of them. I did fine on the test, but like they didn't get burned into my memory. So when I took Algebra 2 Trig, that part comes around and I'm like, what is any of this? So I even go to Hampton once to ask more about unit circles, and he explains it perfectly to me. Then I mix up the measurements on like all of them really badly.
Nice.
It's something really stupid, like I put 1 in the wrong spot, the wrong side, which is like that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious what side that goes on. Now that I've learned it a third time in Trig from a teacher who's very experienced and good at teaching. So I do that, and she's like, "Who helped you?" And I'm like, "Oh, Hampton." And she's like, "You did really bad. You should fail, but I'm gonna give you a C." And I'm like, "Thanks." I got A's in math every year except for that year. I got a C the first semester and a D the second.
Nice. Nice, dude.
Oh, that was a stressful year too, because that's when I got a job. I was not ready to bounce that time. You were dead.
Nah, man.
No, you're just taking a little swim.
Just a little swim.
Do you remember how easy things were freshman year?
Yeah.
So the school tried a thing where it's like, hey, and I think, didn't they drop this the year after, where it's like, some classes are 80-20 and some are 100-0?
Yeah.
What that means are, formatives are assignments and quizzes. Formatives are assignments and quizzes, and summatives are tests. So in most,
I'll come back to that.
I think most classes, there were 100-0 classes, which means 100% of your grades are summatives and 0% are formatives. so they straight up don't count. There's no point in doing them except for practice.
Yeah.
And so that's how biology was. That was a 100 class, I think. Like, I don't think any of us did. I don't even think John did the homework, and he does homework. So like that class was easy too. They made it harder the past few years, I think. But certainly it was easy when we took it. So the entire class, it's just like we work as much as we need to be finished with working, and then we play Smash because
Played Smash in class?
Yeah.
Oh, on the 3DS?
yeah.
Okay.
No, we just lugged the CRT and yeah, no, like did not care because like we were A students and Brad,
And Brad.
he really should have failed that class, but Schreiner, I guess, passed him. Brad did absolutely nothing. Do you remember the student teacher who taught for part of second semester?
Yeah. Oh, crap. I forgot her name. I remember, what's her face? Miss Stewart from gym, but...
Oh, she was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad even got into an argument with her one time about him not wanting to put away his 3DS.
Oh.
Brad, as a freshman, did what he wanted. That was a fun class.
Brad's still a freshman.
Well, now he's a freshman in college, so
Yeah.
I guess he is a freshman again. Like, nothing productive happened in that class. We had a sub one time. We walk in, and, like, you know, people talk for the first few minutes of class, and then they get quiet when the teacher says nothing.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, like, oh, teacher said nothing because they're waiting for us to shut up. So people quiet down over a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then people are really quiet, and the teacher just says nothing. Does not, like, look up, is just reading the newspaper. And people just start looking around, and the talking, like, increases back to, like, a quiet level.
Yeah.
Waiting for the teacher to be done preparing or whatever. So that we get to hear what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Okay,
She was a student teacher.
Yeah. Okay, what were we talking about?
Teacher still says nothing. We wait. It's probably been 10-15 minutes of class. People are like, alright, we're not doing anything. And really, the sub never ever said anything. Never said anything to us, never looked at us, never gave us anything. We sat there. We played Yoshi, me and Brad, the NES puzzle game. That's a fun game.
The what?
Yoshi. The NES puzzle game that's kind of like I think it's Goombas, Boos, Mushrooms, and I don't know, some other symbol. They all drop down and you have to match at least 3 to clear them out.
Oh.
But then like bottom eggshells and top eggshells will drop. So there's the mechanic where like you get more points if you sandwich things in between eggshells.
Oh.
So there's like fun little combos there. It's a fun game. We did not do anything in that class.
Doesn't sound like you did anything.
The class was worse than Spanish. I watched the entire inauguration during Spanish, and
The entire...
well, I don't... Actually, that was longer than Spanish. That, like, leached into study hall, too. But, like, I watched that during Spanish, and it's not like we were having a free day to watch the inauguration or something.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I feel like the inauguration is something to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting things are happening. So I'm watching it, and there's, like, a lesson going on, right?
Yeah.
This man does not care. I'm actually really surprised. I think he liked me because I was Dutch.
You were...
Because he told me he liked me because I was Dutch.
Well, I'm guessing that's probably the reason then.
Yeah. You know, Dutch people really like Dutch people.
You Dutch?
He's Dutch. Sigma is a very Dutch name. Sigma's like one of those names like, I don't know. I can't come up with like a name that's obviously one like ethnicity.
Esparza.
Yeah. But like the way that you would hear Esparza and be like, that's a Mexican. Sigma is like that for Dutch people.
I have no idea. I think all white people are the same.
Well,
Hashtag racist.
Except for like Italians who are like off-white. Because they're cool.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
I have not.
That movie is really confusing if you miss the first 20 minutes.
Everybody tells me I should watch it.
I think it's good. I can't tell because I missed the first 20 minutes. Things definitely happen for a lot of the movie.
Yeah. Um, I just one of the one of the things on the list was that I can watch back the plug and play episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be like me just watching strangers do the show, because like I'm playing the game and talking at the same time, so I remember nothing, and it's just it's just that just reminded me of it because I couldn't even remember what we just said 5 seconds ago.
That's true. You know what's really weird too is like if I ever like watch back an episode and like maybe like Brad's there, right?
Yeah.
And so like I'll comment on what's happening in the episode and it just happens to be the exact same thing that I say at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I do that way too much, and I guess it makes sense because it's me, so of course I would act like me, but it's just weird.
It's like deja vu, deja vu.
Deja vu, deja vu.
I meant to say deja vu, deja vu, but yeah. What was that? You know the Miss Stewart story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like
I told that story a few days ago.
to who?
I don't know. You were there.
Oh yeah, to John.
Was it? No. Oh no. Yeah. No. I told the story that I told the story to John, and then people overheard.
Oh yeah, that's because let's just tell the story again.
Okay. It's not gonna be funny if I have to like. Well, they'll get the gist.